4 slides, 5 minutes, my promise. So, what if we could network all the physical things in the world? What if an enterprise could sense, control, locate, and identify all of their stuff, all their physical assets? What would you do with that? A few obvious things that come to mind. We can make our borders more porous for good commerce and yet safer at the same time. We can reduce the amount of energy that buildings use, or waste in particular. We can make our transport of vegetables and produce faster and safer. Those are just a few things. Now, what's interesting is all the technology to do this exists. And the need for it exists. And I'm inviting you here to join in the process of putting these pieces together. That's what the innovation's about. My name is Robert Poor. I'm with a startup so new it doesn't even have a name yet. But I optimistically call it NBT for Next Big Thing. So in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to show you not only what this is all about, but show you the architecture and the business plan. And part of my hope is I'll shake a few of you loose and knock around some synapses and get you guys excited. And maybe a few of you will come and join in and help out. Because I hear that Joel tells me there's some smart people here. Okay, so let's see. This is my first time at Coface. I'm a newbie, so I have some questions. Who was here last year for Bruce Sterling's talk on the Internet of Things? Show of hands. Awesome. Cool. Who here has heard of wireless mesh networks? Show of hands. Ooh, good. Sensor networks? And who knows why polar bears don't eat penguins? You said there were smart people here. How come?
Polar bears are in the Arctic, penguins are in the Antarctic.
It's too far to swim. Exactly. Okay. This is the slide that I have lived and breathed and has gotten me awake every morning and I get really, really, really excited about. It's what happens when you build networks out of silicon radios. First off, Moore's Law tells us that silicon is going to get exponentially cheaper over time. That's great. Metcalfe's Law tells us that the value of joining a network goes up exponentially with the number of things on the network. So joining a network gets more valuable. So if you build networks using radios, you get something that gets exponentially cheaper and exponentially more valuable. How good is that? Okay? So here's some definitions. We all know what data networks are. Data networks are what links together computers. They transfer data. The primary virtue of data networks is speed. We also know what voice networks do. They link people, and its main virtue is availability. You want your services to be available wherever you are all the time. Device networks is maybe a little bit new. Their purpose is to sense, to control, to identify, to locate physical stuff in the world. And their main attribute, their main virtue is autonomy. And we're just beginning to figure all that out. Now, I promised you the business plan and the architecture. Here it is. Hey, you got 5 minutes? What do you want? A 50-page report? So, on the left, we have millions of endpoints. These are sensors, these are controllers, these are little tiny things that connect over device networks to our servers. Our servers collect, control, monitor, and administer the network in general, analyze data, and we sell services to the enterprise customers. The interesting thing is on the device network side, there's lots of companies already. There's standards, there's SP100, there's Zigbee, there's 802.11s, and there's just as many companies who will happily sell you their systems. Ember, thank you, Ember, Dust Networks, Arch Rock, the list goes on and on. So all that exists. The stuff in the server, however, doesn't exist. So what we want to do is find out what is valuable to customers, get the data from the real world, and sell them what's valuable to them. Now, I don't mean to trivialize it. I mean, you already know the punchline, first off. The value is not in the technology all the way on the left side there, left side. But instead, it's really in the way you package it up and sell the services. Now, I don't want to trivialize it, because there's some really tough things to solve in the servers. We have to unify all this sensing, control, identification data from these heterogeneous devices. We have to design application frameworks that are really aware of the device constraints inside those things. They're battery powered, they have to last forever. And we have to build a set of network administration tools that take care of everything. So, join me.